Yeah, I also noticed that Adam Levine too is getting flack for like his cheating scandal. So it's like Ned with the Try Guys, and then now Adam Levine. It's kind of crazy, you know.
Who was Adam Levine cheating with? I actually don't know the
I don't
in
even know.
gossip.
It's some kind of scandal, so he hasn't said
What's
anything.
the
But
scandal? It's like, yeah, did you hear about that scandal that I don't know what's it about?
I mean,
Yeah.
cancel culture is unreal. Adam Levine makes first public appearance since cheating scandal with Bahati uh, Prinslow. That's who
Who?
it is.
Who?
Bahati Prinslow.
Who is that?
I think it was a fan or somebody. I don't recall, but I was reading about it. I was like, oh, it's a guitarist.
Huh?
Guitarist.
Oh,
Guitarist. Guitarist.
oh, the girl is a guitarist.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, like everyone's just been getting knocked down. My friend just told me that they watched the video with the Try Guys and it just breaks her heart. She's so sad.
Why? Why do people care?
Well, I was watching the video and it really was sad, you know?
What
Like
was sad?
they really thought of him as a friend and they felt very betrayed. Not only that, they risked the whole business, for what Ned did. So
Well, it ruins his brand because his whole entire persona is built around his marriage.
yeah, I mean that's true. I mean his persona was built around his marriage, and that's why I think it was out of character for a lot of people. But now that the Tries guys have actually said a statement, it kind of makes it
Yeah.
even sadder because
Yeah, not check that off the 2022 bingo card.
I know, right? Well, Eugene seemed really pissed. Like I was like, "Holy shoot!" He seemed so upset. Like he wanted to say more, but you could tell they were reading from cue cards.
I
I
didn't. I don't know. I.
I I feel like this really shook.
I. It's like it's times like these where I live under a rock and I'm happy for it.
Okay, and then you're lively in podcast mode. I'm in podcast mode.
Well, no, that's not what I meant at all. I'm totally oblivious to like a lot of
Oh yeah. Well,
these rumors and gossip.
speaking of rumors and gossip, we're here to talk about House of the Dragon episode 5.
That was such a weird transition.
Speaking of that, speaking of infidelity, luckily we're not back in the times of Westeros, where people like Daemon, Targaryen, is trying to kill his wife.
Wait, what episode are we doing?
Episode 5.
Oh, okay, I thought we were doing 6.
I thought we were doing 6 too, but when I looked at the folder, I was like, oh, we did do episode 5.
Oh, okay. So episode 5, we light the way,
Yes.
and he basically kills her. Got it.
Rare Royce.
Huh?
Well, Rare Royce was his wife to be, or was actually his wife.
Yeah. His ex-wife now.
Yeah, like dead wife,
Former wife.
former
or
wife,
late
widowed,
wife. Late
widowed. Um,
late wife.
she was interesting. I liked her. She was pretty. I heard that in the scene, because it was kind of like a short open, the scene was very quick
Yeah.
in the introduction because they talk about her in passing, and she has a conversation with a cousin, or was that cousin or uncle? She had a conversation with somebody,
Relative.
some relative, hanging out, and then of course Damon's like hanging out like where.
Wait, what are we? Which one? What part are we on? He's killing the wife, right? With the brutal.
Killing the wife, right? But before that, she does meet with her uncle or cousin, and you're wondering who this woman is. Like even for me, I was like, who the heck is this woman? But I did.
Oh,
I kind of knew. I had a feeling.
Knew.
I had a gut feeling.
What do you mean you had a good feeling? I
That-
kind of
that it was
knew right
Damon's
away. Yeah, I was like, oh, because like the thing was, I recognized the
Sigil.
scene
Oh,
right away.
You mean you're talking about from the previews or from?
No, just like from the moment we saw her, like I was like, this is a unique. This is a very familiar scene.
Yeah, they were. Oh, because it is the Erie,
Yeah, the Vale,
the Veil.
the
Yeah,
the area. Yeah,
yeah, Erie.
with the castle with the sky door, the
Yeah,
sky
the sky.
floor.
Dude, that whole
Uh,
arc with the Skydoor was something else, man. I was like, ooh. Funny
wait,
how
wait,
Sansa even ended up there.
why is that funny? That was the whole
Well, I
point.
mean, she was supposed to marry, right, the little boy. And then Littlefinger saved her.
Yeah, something like that.
Right.
I don't remember the
It's a
politics. of it.
flashback. Blue, blue.
Yeah, I hope they keep that part in, right? That part.
Right. Well, you know what's interesting is from the book, they actually don't mention Daemon at all. That's why in
What do you
that
mean they
scene,
don't? What do you mean they don't mention?
so in the
Daemon at
book
all?
they don't mention Daemon being there. They just say that she fell off her horse and then it paralyzed her and they killed her.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
it's very so.
You're talking about it's not mentioned in the book that he visits her. Okay.
Yeah, that Daemon. But so I and this is just from the after scenes of the HBO series. When they talk about behind the
Mhm.
well, I guess are they calling it behind the thrones, behind the dragon? Well, they were talking about the scene and they mentioned that Daemon wasn't in the book, and the director interpreted it as, oh, Daemon was the one who killed her, like had intercepted her, killed her, and that's why he had no dialogue that whole time. Like he doesn't say anything.
Well, I thought it was just for a very dramatic effect.
It was pretty dramatic, and it kind of also painted Damon's character a little differently. That he was willing to kill someone to ascend.
How was it different before that? What was your impression of Daemon before that scene?
I mean, for me, I didn't think that he would go to like such great lengths to kind of just get out of his marriage, because I mean, he obviously agreed to his marriage, and now he kills her.
It was forced upon him. He's made it very clear from the get-go he was not in favor of the marriage.
Do you think it was Rhaenyra that kind of like forced him to kind of do that act?
What do you mean Rhaenyra forcing Daemon?
Well, I mean, because he obviously had the night on the town with Rhaenyra the episode before, and then you think he just felt like, oh yeah, I really love Rhaenyra, I'm gonna kill my wife so I could potentially marry her.
No, I don't think Daemon loves Rhaenyra at all.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think he loves her at all.
Okay. Hey, I don't know what to say to that, but okay.
No, okay. So I don't think because the thing is he doesn't follow through like in that previous scene, right? He kind of stops his way almost as if
That's
like
true.
he's in
She
disgust.
egged him on, right?
No, he egged her on, but he stopped halfway.
Oh, sorry. I was actually talking about Ray Royce, but you're talking about
It was Ray Royce.
That's the wife of Daemon.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about, because Ray Royce did egg him on to kill her, right? He said,
No, she didn't kill. She didn't. Well, I guess you could say that. But I mean, you could see
never finish.
Okay, well, let's just first talk about that. Like, sorry about Rhaenyra. Daemon. I don't think Daemon loves Rhaenyra. I think it was purely just for his own benefit, in order to marry her, right? To get the heir to the throne. But anyway, how this relates to Daemon's character now, where we see him killing Ray Royce.
Yeah.
Ray Royce. I think it's definitely it just solidifies his personality as like this evil archetype, this evil persona that will stop at nothing to get what he wants. Right? He's very ruthless, very, very ruthless. We saw this, in the Battle of the Stepstones, right, when he fights the cat feeder. And then we saw it again when he was obviously when he was obviously trying to egg on Rhaenyra in order to make Rhaenyra the wife.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it wasn't surprising to me. I mean, it was shocking, but it wasn't surprising when he smashed her head in. It was graphic and shocking, yeah, but it was definitely not surprising.
Yeah. I mean, Game of Thrones, right? Game of Thrones fashion. smash the head, do whatever.
Is that Game of Thrones fashion?
I feel like it is for some of the characters. They either get their head cut off or, I realize that in this time period they really don't cut too many people's heads off. They just burn them with dragon fire.
Who do they? What?
Yeah, like they like they're deceased, they burn them with dragon fire, and then
well, that's burning a person's body right after when they're dead is not like custom only to the Targaryens. I mean, that's something that
a lot of cultures do it. They burn
a lot of
not with dragon fire.
Well, okay, yeah, because there's no dragons, but I'm saying it doesn't matter regardless of the dragon or not. Burning them with fire is not something new.
But I mean, that scene, I don't really know what to make of it. I feel, he killed her, Royce, for Rhaenyra because he wanted to be released, from his marriage and then try to pursue Rhaenyra. But, potato.
What do you mean potato?
I mean, you could say that he doesn't love her, and he just killed her because he's a bad dude.
Well, yeah, because he wanted to be free of the marriage, and he also wanted to inherit all of her lands. I mean, it's all about power.
Right. I mean, he does mention it kind of later.
So the thing is, like, after Viserys finds out about Daemon's little plot, right? He basically kicks him out of King's Landing and sends him back to the homeland. And so Daemon is in disgrace at the moment, so he doesn't have any power. So the next step he has to do is to get power back, and this is by killing his wife.
Right.
Inherit everything he has.
Right.
It would also free him up in order to marry who he wanted.
Right. And then of course, when you marry again, you can ascend even higher if you really want to.
Well, I mean, he wanted to marry Rhaenyra so that he could be the next
consort.
Well, the next regent of King's Landing, or whatever the title is, whatever the
consort. Well, like in the last episode, right? Rhaenyra does Viserys does talk to Rhaenyra about finding an heir, and then kind of designates someone for her, and that's why they end up in Driftmark a little bit later. I don't know what you felt about the reception of Corlys not greeting the king. I don't think it was a big deal, but for some reason they made it such a big deal.
Well, yeah, because imagine he's the ruler of the entire kingdom, and you don't go and greet him. Right. Like it would be like it would be okay to put it into like more modern terms. Like, what if the president came to go visit the governor in his office?
And he sends the secretary.
And sends the secretary instead. He's like, hey, the governor is in town, but he's tired, and he's meeting with he's waiting for you somewhere else.
Right. Yeah. But I felt like it didn't add too much to the scene because he ended up meeting with Corlys anyway, right?
No, it was to show, or at least in my opinion, it was at least to show that Viserys was still not unnecessarily in good terms with Corlys, right? Because he's still salty. Like, as you mentioned, he's still a little bit mad about Viserys turning down the marriage proposal with Olenna.
Ooh, that's right. He left the council because of that. That's right.
Well, then he started the whole freaking war with Daemon in response to that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but I think he does realize that, okay, well, now I can marry my daughter, to their son, Laenor. And here you go, getting time to get married.
Well, yeah, because it fulfills all of his previous wishes, and it secures a strong relationship between the two houses. So it's a win-win situation for them. So honestly, for him, it puts the pressure on him in order to accept.
Right.
Otherwise he make it. Well, in that scenario, no ruler would foolishly turn down a king's offer.
Yeah, that's right. She was kind of tainted. I do recall.
Wait, what?
Rhaenyra was tainted, but nobody said anything.
What does that have to do with? No, I'm talking about Corlys, not Viserys.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Viserys.
I'm talking about from Corlys's position.
Right.
Politically, it would be foolish for him to turn down that offer.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of makes sense. I mean, you, your daughter too young, your son old enough, marry Renea.
But they're cousins, by the way.
I know that's the incest of this show is like way over the top versus Game of Thrones. That's all I gotta say.
No, Game of Thrones is just as much incest.
What are you talking about? I mean, well, okay. The only two ancestral relationships that I recall is Cersei Lannister and Jamie, and then of course Jon Snow and Daenerys Targaryen.
No, there was also Cersei Lannister and basically her cousin, or all of her cousins.
What was his name? Lancelot?
Lancel or something like that?
Lancel, yeah, Lancel. They did stuff too.
Yeah.
I mean, when you got the genes, you got the genes. That's all I gotta say. Yeah, so I mean, Viserys proposes that Laenor marries Rhaenyra, but the problem is that Laenor is into men.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean that's why they had that little agreement, right?
Right. Like
on
so
the beach.
It's funny. Corlys and
you know, it was funny. Like I didn't really catch on like the very first like couple minutes when they were talking.
You didn't know that the appetites.
No. I mean, yeah, when you think about it now, it makes perfect sense. But I'm saying when I was first reacting to it, or I was first watching it, right. I didn't catch on right away when they were talking about different appetites.
Oh my goodness, I totally could tell like ASAP. I mean, I did kind of spoil myself a little bit because
gosh.
Yeah, because I like watching recap videos of these like and theories and what people.
You like watching recaps of stuff you've never watched.
No, not necessarily. I mean, they were talking about it and they just so happened to say that, oh, you'll find out later that like Laenor is not into women. I mean, they just kind of casually said that. So I could kind of, when they were talking about appetites, it's kind of sad because it feels like everybody knows, you know, like everybody knew. Yeah. And it's just like, hey, okay, well, I know you're gay, so let's talk about this because we got to get married and that's our duty to the kingdom. And we need to do what's best for the kingdom. But why don't we, you know?
Well, not only that, but they're pretty much for their own lives too.
Yeah, they're putting their lives at risk. I mean, I believe that the mom even says so, right? Laenor's mom says.
Yeah, Rhaenys Targaryen.
Yeah, Rhaenys Targaryen. She was saying that they put them at risk as well. So, I mean,
well, yeah, everyone's gonna be watching them pretty much.
Everyone's at risk. They're all, and for her, she of course still has Sir Kristen Cole, but you know they talk about running away. Well, actually, Sir Kristen Cole talks about running away. Like he's totally like hit with the VJ card. You know what I mean?
The what card?
The V card.
Oh wait, what about it?
Well, Sir Kristen Cole is like hit with the V card, so he wants to run away with her.
Yeah, because he felt ashamed.
Yeah, well, not only that, he broke his oath too.
Yeah, he felt ashamed.
Yeah, shame.
Yeah, he felt shamed.
Yes. We gotta find that clip with the shame, and the bell. Shame.
Oh,
shame. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, he felt ashamed of what he did, and so he figured like if he married her, it would somehow redeem the actions.
Sir Kristen Cole couldn't marry Rhaenyra. There's no way.
What do you mean? That's what the whole point of running away was for, was so that they could hide.
He didn't say that they were gonna get married. He just said, "Oh, let's run away
together." Yeah,
I mean, they're gonna get married, but they said strip their names and titles, right?
Yeah, live as commoners so they can marry each other.
Yeah, she ain't having that. I'm going to be queen, is what she said.
So I mean, basically, okay, wait. So when Kristen Cole was saying all that, right? Do you think Rhaenyra was like being very petty or being like very cruel in her response?
Who?
Rhaenyra.
Her response.
I mean, basically, like her response to Sir Kristen Cole's proposal. Basically, she just told him like, "You're not good enough. You're a commoner, so fuck off. I can't marry you, but we can still see each other behind everyone's backs.
I know. We can still sleep around.
You could be my trophy husband, and basically my secret trophy husband.
I mean, it's not like it wasn't uncommon during the times there.
Yeah, I know, but it's like it's just it was so. Oh man, it was so hard. It was honestly very. I felt bad for Kristen Cole at that moment.
Right.
Because like here he was, like he's laying out his feelings, his entire. He's burying himself. He's giving himself, making himself
Deep.
very vulnerable, right?
Deep.
Telling deep, yes, he has deep feelings, telling her like I love you and I want to marry you.
Yeah.
So let's run away together so we can do all that stuff.
She's like, hell no.
And then she's like, oh wait, no, I can't because I'm a fucking princess and you're not a noble. So no. But we can still
with the V card.
it's like still we can still have sex with each other.
Cake and eat it too. She have her cake and eat it too.
Yeah, she's like, I have the cake and I want to eat it too. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, this leads us to the pre-wedding feast, right? All of this has kind of happened. Even Laenor kind of meets with his secret boyfriend, and they kind of make out.
Do you have lights in your room?
I do not.
Oh. It looks like you're in a dark room. You're about to do a satanic cult chant.
I should.
Okay.
I have a ring light. Maybe I could just use the ring light.
You're gonna summon Lucifer.
The only hard thing is with the ring light, I need another USB port, which I don't have. I should either sacrifice my camera or sacrifice my sound.
Oh.
Let's give it a go. Oh, I sacrificed the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're back.
Oh, okay. You didn't have to.
Okay. All right. So, obviously we head into the pre-wedding feast, right? Everyone's at the table. Everyone's giving their. Actually, we see Lannisters. We see Lannisters again. They talk about how they're happy, yada yada. And the funny thing is that the Royces come around and then kind of suspect Daemon of killing Rhea Royce.
Who? I think at this point, if anything, it's like everything rumor related is like it's taken as fact. Every rumor is pretty much taken as fact.
One thing you're not. It's not like they had social media, and it's not like bringing it back to the Try Guys, right? Like you have receipts, you have undeniable proof that it happened. So
yeah. Well, no, I think it's. I'm saying at this point, I think everyone already agrees that regardless if it's rumors or not, that they all probably know that Daemon killed his wife.
Yeah, and the thing is, because they can't prove it, it's just like hearsay, right?
It's a well, not that, but it's like a game of whispers, right? It's whatever scandals going on regarding like the royal family is you can do the two things. One is you can keep it to yourself and not be a target with for assassination or worse. Yeah. Or two is you can use it as leverage in order to gain more influence or more power or to some effect like that.
Right, and I mean essentially that's what he did. And I mean like everyone's suspecting it, but I think they don't care. Like he doesn't care. Daemon doesn't care. Daemon actually rebuts with saying that, wait, don't I get all of her land? Doesn't that make me like
true? And this is exactly why Daemon has no allies in the court.
Right. He doesn't have allies, but his cockiness is kind of,
it's because he doesn't play the game like everyone else. Which is probably, which is counterintuitive because he wants to be the freaking like ruler.
That makes him a very interesting character. I was looking back at old Game of Thrones videos, and Joffrey Baratheon was a bad boy.
Yes, he was. So what does that have to do with?
Well, I just hated him as a character, and like Daemon isn't as bad as Joffrey. I don't hate him as much, but Daemon is very close to being.
Well, the
just
difference between Joffrey and Daemon is Joffrey was unnecessarily cruel.
Yeah.
Like, he inflicted pain and suffering on others simply because he had the power to, and
Right.
he could, and he wanted to do that. Like, he enjoyed that kind of thing. He was a masochist in that way. Daemon, however, I mean, I'm not quite sure if he enjoys putting people's suffering.
Right.
I don't necessarily get that same feeling
Vibe.
from him. Yeah,
Sure.
that same vibe from him. But he does, you know, his actions do hurt others.
And yeah, they definitely hurt others. That's
he definitely hurts others in order to get what he wants. Right? It's all about him and what he wants and his needs.
And whatever it takes, right? Whatever it takes within.
So I guess in a way, the Joffrey and Daemon are both very self-centered people,
Right.
but their methodology or their reasonings behind certain actions are not quite the same, in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah, I mean 100%. And then so they have all these conversations happening all at the same time, and finally, King Viserys settles everyone down and starts a big speech. And I thought it was a moving speech in the onset. And lo and behold, who comes into the door? Who comes through the door? Like she hits the door.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
Queen Alicent, and no less in her green attire.
The green dress, right? A high tower dress. The colors of the House Hightower.
Yeah.
I thought that was probably the best scene of all the episodes thus far. Her kind of because she's such a meek and like quiet person, and for her to kind of like make a statement with what she's wearing. I
heard that they changed Alicent's character quite a bit for this show.
Okay.
So initially, right, people who read the book, when they were always asked the question, are you team House Black or you House Green,
House
right?
Green, yeah.
And I think the common response would be like most people would be House Black, right, for Rhaenyra, and that's just because I guess the way it was portrayed in the books was that it painted Alicent as primarily the most likely, or it painted Alicent as primarily very evil and manipulative.
Really?
Yes. So, like, for example, it wasn't in the books, it wasn't Otto Hightower that persuaded her to, or you made her, you know, seduce Viserys and become the Queen Regent, right? The Queen Consort. But it was actually Alicent's own decision in order to gain power to court.
Holy shoot, that changes everything for me.
There's key differences between the two. And it honestly paints like a different picture of Alicent's character. Like you said, she's portrayed more as a meek character that's naive and innocent, right? And she's kind of caught in this crossfire between her father's ambitions,
right,
and also the political machinations of Rhaenyra, right?
Right.
And her decisions, because you know she's a freaking princess and she gets everything she wants. She's spoiled and all of that.
Spoiled brat. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, obviously now when people, I feel like a lot of people who are like asking like, "Are you Team Black or Team Green?" You know, a lot of them are now saying you're on the not on the fence, but more of them saying Team Green now.
Oh. I didn't even know that. I haven't read up too much on what other people are thinking. For me, of course, I was Team Red in the beginning. Now I'm kind of on the fence.
You were Team Green in the beginning?
Red, black. Black.
You were Team Black in the beginning?
Yeah.
Like, up to what point?
I mean, Renee, I don't really like as a character, just in general.
Okay.
I like Alicent. I mean, even for me, I'm more of a chill type of person, so I'm more like a Alicent, you know. I think everyone kind of looks at everybody and tries to see themselves in one of the characters, and I feel like I'm like in terms
Really?
of.
You see yourself as one of the characters in Game of Thrones?
I mean, doesn't everyone like?
Not me. I see
Game of
myself as
Thrones.
one of the commoners who are just watching this from the sidelines, trying
I'm
not
the
to
side.
die. That's
I'm
who I
an
identify
extra on the
as.
side of this.
I'm an
area.
off-screen character that's just there, trying not to die every
Right,
single day.
exactly. Yeah.
That's who I am.
Yeah, I mean, like I was definitely Renea because of obviously she's in the forefront, but I think as time progressed, I do like Alicent, but obviously in my current state right now, with the time skip, spoiler alert or whoever's watching this, because we've already watched like so many episodes, I feel that Alicent becomes a less likable character down the road. But I liked her in the beginning.
I did not like her from the get-go.
What?
I also didn't like Rhaenyra either. At least the Patron is in this character.
Who'd you resonate with then, character-wise?
Who did I resonate with?
Yeah. Do you see yourself in Sir Kristen Cole or?
Oh heck no. No. I don't think anyone really. I don't think I relate to anybody in this show.
Yeah, the characters here are less likable than I think.
Well, yeah, I think that's probably the key difference between House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones is like the characters are so much more gray area.
Well, they're built very well.
Well, there's more dimensions to them than in Game of Thrones. I mean, it's like if you were to take Jaime Lannister and you dissect his character more thoroughly.
He's good. He's evil. He's bad. He's nice.
Because
right.
I realized that like a lot of the characters that we're first introduced to, and it takes them like 6 seasons before we finally see like different sides to them, right?
They are human. They are human.
Like Jaime Lannister from the very start was like a complete dickbag.
Probably,
right?
Yeah. He's probably the best character. Tyrion had a good run for a little bit.
Tyrion was interesting from the start, and then he got really dull like after he met Daenerys.
Yeah, he was kind of like weak sauce.
I think the writers just didn't
there was no more developmental story, nothing.
Yeah, and then Cersei Lannister was an interesting one as well. But I mean, granted, she was portrayed as like the evil queen.
Yeah, that was a thing, man.
Yeah, so I think like that's probably the biggest thing. I mean, that's why I love a lot about the show. It was like in House of the Dragon, every character has its own. Every character seems very 3-dimensional, right? It's not just your black and white scenario.
Yeah, no, that's true. They have a lot of layers.
They have gray, they have white, they have little shades of like red to them, black. It's
where are you getting these colors from?
I'm just choosing different colors. This is represent like the different.
I'm like, how are you matching these? Like, where do you see? You have like
black, green,
or aura vision, just like looking at their auras, like all black.
Yeah,
green?
I'm looking at the rainbow.
Oh, I see. Great. Yeah. That's wonderful. During the pre-marriage ceremony, we do see Daemon flirting a little bit with Lena Valerian, and I think well, I don't have to think nothing. That's foreshadowing. Just so you know, that's foreshadowing.
I think every person already knows how that turns out.
Right, and we do see a battle kind of break out, and I feel
yeah, let's talk about the interaction between what's his name, Carl?
Yeah, and Sir Kristen Cole, right?
And Sir Kristen Cole. I thought that was an interesting mix. So some people I talked to about this, they said that the interaction between them was purely like Carl was like trying to get Sir Kristen Cole to collaborate with him in order to keep his secrets.
Right. Yeah, I saw
Which
that.
I thought was interesting because I portrayed it as like Carl was like giving a threat of warning.
Yeah. Do you want me to tell everyone? I know who's lover, and he tells Laenar too. He's like, I think I found out who's Rhaenyra's.
Well, I mean, I first thought of it as like nearly purely gossip. Like he was in it really just to gossip for the sake of gossiping.
Yeah.
But
No,
then, like, he approaches
that's true.
Kristen Cole directly during the ceremony, right?
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really interesting thing as to why would a person do that unless he was trying to either, you know, threaten or persuade someone of some action, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Obviously, it was not the outcome he wanted because he ended up dying. But
yeah. Face got smashed in.
I think
You don't tell a knight all your secrets. That's rule number 1. Don't tell a knight all your secrets or your face is gonna get smashed.
is that the rule?
I don't know.
I think he just misjudged Sir Kristen Cole's character.
Right, and I did too. Honestly, I had no idea that Sir Kristen Cole would punch his face in. On top of that, the fact that he wasn't punished while he was doing that is also above me, and I felt really bad for, Laenor.
The fact he wasn't punished, well, probably because no one knew what really happened. Well, what are you going to punish him for?
Yeah, it was very like scattered, and here we also see Sir Harwin Strong, pick up Rhaenyra and then bring him over because the new Hand of the King orders his son to pick up Rhaenyra and then bring her to safety. That's more foreshadowing, guys. More foreshadowing.
Okay. I don't think that's as strong foreshadowing as you make it out to be.
Yeah, well, I guess as much as Daemon. I think they're just planting all these subtle hints. I mean, even with Rhaenyra and Daemon right from the very beginning giving him the necklace, like I was like, are they gonna go there? I guess they're gonna go there, and then they went there.
Yeah, that was foreshadowing for sure.
Yeah, and I honestly thought that after punching the person, Carl's face in, I thought that was gonna be the end. But we actually find ourselves back out in the Weirwood tree garden, and Sir Kristen Cole's gonna harakiri himself. Yeah.
Oh, sure. We'll call it harakiri.
Harakiri himself. Yeah, you can look that up.
I mean, it's not true harakiri because there's no one to chop his head off. But yeah, he was gonna off himself, commit suicide because he broke whatever vows he had.
Alicent kind of stopped him, right?
Well, yeah, because she's also looking for political power, right? Some leverage in this game. So she sees it in Sir Kristen Cole. Because one thing we didn't mention was Sir Kristen Cole basically not commits, but he basically tells Alicent that he slept with her. Yeah.
Right, with Rhaenyra. And I think honestly,
that was a really funny scene, to be honest.
I think so. I mean, honestly, I didn't think that Alicent would take it that hard. I thought she'd take it more harshly if it was Daemon, but I guess she felt that Rhaenyra still lied to her, even though that was her best friend. Well,
I think she was confused. She's just like caught off guard. No, Alicent.
Oh,
I think
Alicent,
she was completely caught off guard. I thought that was like, for me anyway, that was a very funny scene because like here she was trying to get Sir Kristen Cole to confess to something that Daemon slept with Rhaenyra, right?
Right. Tell me the truth. You were guarding that night. You knew.
but lo and behold, it was actually something quite worse.
Yeah, I was like, I was the one who deflowered the lady, my lady. I deflowered my lady.
I was like, and Sir Kristen was like, yeah, it's totally true. I slept with her. It's like, I'm pretty sure there were like 1,000 questions going on through Alicent's head at that very moment.
She seemed super
like,
chill.
She was like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, so yeah, it was, I think for her it was quite a shocker. It kind of I think created a wedge between her and Rhaenyra because obviously Rhaenyra swore on her mother's life that she would not do this again, or she would not lie, right? And she found out she lied. So yeah, the cross divided.
Well, she swore. Technically, she didn't really lie. If we're looking at this from a very technical standpoint, she promised that she didn't sleep with Daemon.
That's true.
Right, that's what she was alluding to. Like she's sworn to mother's grave.
So I feel sad because Queen Alicent never even confronted her or anything.
Well, yeah, she did indirectly through Sir Kristen Cole. So
Right.
it's. I mean, but the funny thing is, like, it's still a question in my mind. Like, does Allison actually know that Daemon and Rhaenyra did sleep together,
She
or
probably
does she
doesn't know.
not?
She probably doesn't care.
I mean,
Then
I guess
she
it. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, but.
no,
Well, yeah, it honestly doesn't matter, but it's
it doesn't
still
matter.
like, does she technically still know, or does not know?
Right. And because of the scenes of the festivities, they expedite the wedding between Laenor and, of course, Rhaenyra. And everyone's super sad. Everyone's bummed out. Laenor just lost his boy toy. And then Rhaenyra is just super sad about the whole situation. And, you know, during the wedding, right, because the Maesters are wedding these two individuals, Viserys' nose starts to bleed, and then he passes out. And that's where we end the episode. It kind of pans back and then shows Carl beaten to a pulp and his blood still on the floor in Harrenhal.
That's not Harrenhal.
Oh, it's not Harrenhal? I thought it was Harrenhal.
Why do you keep saying Harrenhal?
It's not Harrenhal?
Gosh.
I like Harrenhal, that's why.
Why?
I like the name. I like to say Harrenhal.
Oh,
Harrenhal.
okay. Great. It's not
Harrenhal.
Harrenhal.
Welcome to Harrenhal.
It's not Harrenhal.
Yeah, but I mean that's episode 5. I thought that, the pacing again is just like super nuts and things are happening, guns are blazing, people. I feel like they're not taking their time to really like sink into these characters. It's just like event after an event after an event after an event, and these events don't necessarily these events don't necessarily like make it the man. I feel like the way that they react or they overcome those is what makes them who they are.
I think though, after whatever the time jump's supposed to happen, right?
I think after this episode, the time jump happens.
Yeah, I think after that, things are starts to are supposed to slow down a little bit, or are supposed to like pace out a little bit better.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Dracarys.
Right.
Random Dracarys.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, but
you would make a poor Targaryen.
What? My dragon will spit fire for sure.
Exactly. You would just burn everything. It's like Dracarys.
Burn to the ground. Yeah. So I guess we'll see what happens in episode 6. And I say that even though I know what's gonna happen in episode 6.
Yeah.
Spoilers. Did you watch episode 6 already, Jeremy?
I did.
Oh, okay. Good. So we can record this after that. So make sure to like and subscribe, because you can check back on all the House of the Dragon recaps that we do, kind of discuss what the heck is going on in Westeros and these dragons, these ancestral dragon Valerian people. Gross. But all right, we'll see you next time.